Hi everybody, thank you for coming to my talk. My name is Dumisani, Masimini from Painters People. My talk, as you can see, today is about whether Autopwn or Autofail using AI in offensive security. As you can see on the right hand side here, with the AI pen testing, you will usually be scanning, find 247 findings, then he goes and validates, confirms 40, and then it gives you the PDF. But do you understand all of that? What did it do? That's where the gap actually is, and that's why I actually wanted to give this talk. Why this talk? AI is everywhere. I mean, LinkedIn, you go on LinkedIn, you go on social media, every eye is this, every eye that. Everybody's using it for whatever reasons. But the big question for us as pen testers or offensive security professionals is, can it do the job for me? Can it actually run the script, execute malicious code for me, and actually just take over what I'm actually doing? There's a real risk. Is it about actually AI replacing us? It's about using AI incorrectly without understanding. The core question, are you using AI as a tool or letting it think for you? The tool, basically you give it an input of what you actually, what you as a person would actually think of, and or dependent on it, you just take out each and every output and copy paste. Basically that's your quickest way for that. What I'll cover, it will be whether the hype, where the AI fails, using AI without losing credibility, or where AI actually helps, real risk in penetration workflows, and what makes AI strong pen testing now. The question is, will AI replace pen testers? Just prompt away to exploitation. Fully automated pen testing. My take on that is that personally, there's a lot that needs to actually go into AI before it actually replaces what the human brain actually can consider. There's a lot of judgmental flaws that AI actually does not consider as far as the way human actually thinks about all these particular aspects. What is actually AI good at actually? What it gets at, it does a lot of payload ideas. I've watched generating payloads, whether it be your XSS, your SQL, recon and enumeration. Basically, give it a /24, give it a nmap for /24, and then it would actually just summarize it and then just give you possibilities of where the attack vectors could be. Writing scripts is fast. I, as a pen tester who's not strong at actually coding or scripting, this really helps. But with actually with the verification, that is. Report writing, I mean, when your prompts are correct and you know what you're reporting on, and I think actually reports become so generic, they become so repetitive as well. This will actually make a 3-hour reporting tool come to a little bit shorter span of time as well. Again, verification. So as far as I don't have a demo, sorry, I just got you a little bit of a prompt over here. So you prompted to actually want to give you SQL injection. It will give you all the payloads, right? It gives you them instantly, but then everything looks like it's supposed to be working. The issue here now is, does it validate it? Is it actually giving you correct payloads for the specific case that you're actually giving it? Where it starts to break AI, hallucinating vulnerabilities. Basically just finding CVEs that are not there on specific findings. Where it actually just gives you an attack path that is actually not actually working for the specific software or version that you're actually trying to attack. Incorrect or broken payloads. I've had a few times where I've actually had to reread the script and the payload that it actually has generated. And half the time you'd find things that are not even supposed to be there. Outdated techniques, depending on where it actually looks. Summarizing the techniques that actually that are supposed to be used on the specific versions, it might be just outdated and could not actually give you any specific way of actually exploiting the target as well. Misread responses. AI can't see actually HTTPS responses. So what it does, it just basically just assumes that everything is at 200. And in some cases that does not actually, that isn't the case. Just 2 seconds. The dangerous shift. AI lowers the barrier basically, but not does not do it well. It gives you great output for anybody who's actually not a seasoned pen tester. That could be overwhelming at times. With a little bit of less understanding, you're going to be using it basically blindly, just trusting actually AI more than anything else. With less understanding, basically you're just basically flying an airplane without actually knowing what you're doing, just hoping for the best type of thing. The Autopwn mindset, what it looks like in practice, like we spoke about the copy paste, where you just basically just generate a payload without any verification, copy and paste it first. Trusting AI explanation on vulnerabilities without verification. Hallucinating again, where the vulnerabilities are not there, or where they actually it hasn't been looked up or anything current as yet. Skipping the building fundamentals because AI can't explain it. This is basically the core message here, where you need to know what you are looking for in order to actually ask AI to actually give you whether the explanation or the attack path or the payload. This is where we chase speed over accuracy. More findings equals more work. Sometimes less findings and quality work is actually what matters instead of the quantity of the findings that you are. When you chase the speed of actually finding as much as you can, but reducing the report quality as well. Can you explain how any exploit works, or just should it work? Once you start not actually understanding the work that you're doing, it's hard for you to explain any of the exploits that you'll be actually documenting on the report itself. False positives, the reality of auto failure, the false positivity reports. I've had quite a few findings that were actually said to be either there or even on a higher severity. Upon verification, that was not true. Misreal vulnerabilities. Again, AI focuses on pattern matching. If it's not there, if it's not logically thinking, like what a human would do in terms of next steps, it will miss that. Broken exploit chains. AI does not think of actually like a human would. You would actually chain exploits from a low severity vulnerability, chain it with another maybe medium in order to get you a critical. It does not logically think like that. It will basically just use a generic response for each and every particular, not each and every particular, but most of the exploits. With the loss of client trust, I'm sure if I can give you a report that has one finding that is incorrect, and you know that is incorrect, you would say you would actually start questioning the whole report. Is this actually trustworthy? Is actually everything here true? That's where the other risk comes in. Sorry, it's not working now. Again, it comes with basically the credibility problem. One wrong finding, it's an issue. But several wrong findings, it will just build a bit of a distrust within the clients. And blind AI usage, your reputation is at stake. Not only your reputation as a paid tester, but your company as a whole. It becomes a bit of a credibility issue. I think this is gone. AI in reporting. What AI can do, basically write clean finding descriptions. They'll keep it as generic as possible. It won't give you the exact specifics as to what the specific finding might be. It can view technical content accessibly. Basically, just when I read that particular section, it reminds me of on a report where you have two separate sections, one for the executive summary and one for the for the technical folks. You will be able to reword or summarize basically the technical findings that you've got for the executive summaries as well. It can structure findings consistently. Yeah, it can find. Again, when I read that it structure findings consistently, sometimes it does. Let's just say that it's not actually always accurate. It can give you a finding of a high critical, where it's actually probably an info at best. Speed up the drafting process. Yes, the drafting process becomes a little bit a bit better. Again, when you know what you want to put in that report and what to ask on the specific report. The other side of it, it can remove important context from findings. Not every finding is actually generic at a client's place. There will be specifics where you need to actually explain it in a way that it poses risks towards the client. And it actually does miss business impact in its also. It does not actually understand, like I said, what the client is actually after or what is protecting. Two clients can never be the same. And those generic answers cannot be actually work on both cases. And it would sound authoritative as if it actually knows what it's talking about, but it actually might actually be wrong at the same time. This is an example of a AI-generated finding. This is basically about SQL injection. Basically, when you read it, it has no exploitation evidence, no business contents, and no generic recommendation. Technically, it looks correct, but it lacks what actually appeals to the business directly. So this would be what it looks like when it's actually written, basically customized for a specific client, where it actually explains that it found the SQL injection, gives you the actual path of where the injection is, and what exactly could be extracted, and how does it actually affect you as a business. Basically, it's clear, it's contextualized, and tied basically back to the business business risk. And it also gives you actionable immediate timeline. Where AI fails in real-time engagement, scope nuance. It does not know the scope that is actually currently functioning in, what's in scope, what's actually on scope. Chained attacks. It would not actually understand if you would want to chain a low finding with a medium finding itself. That takes logical workflow. Legacy systems like SCADA networks, old mainframes, it would give basically generic answers as well. I have actually knocked down quite actually a mainframe, um, using some of these techniques as well. That was not a fun day as well. The client conversations, explaining the risk itself. It surely can help with the wording, but actually when the client actually starts pushing back, where does your explain your understanding and your explanation actually limit you? You consult, basically. That's where it actually comes in. The key insight, AI can actually help you findings. Basically, pattern matched findings, generate payloads, draft report content, and enumeration summaries. That's what I normally use it for. Where I have to actually do it myself is I have to validate the expectation, do a little bit of risk analysis on the finding itself, and then prioritize how severe the risk is. Also have to, as a human, you need to actually be able to write on what the business impact would be. And basically another one comes up, that tap chain reasoning, chaining all these vulnerabilities together just to show business impact, basically. How to use AI properly. Brainstorming. I use it a lot just to maybe just give it a few ideas, see what it comes up with. Whether it be work, personal sometimes. That's just to see how to give me a different point of view. Don't trust it fully at times. And then basically draft initial scripts and automate repetitive tasks. Once you know that, I think when you get into a workflow, where you are testing specific, whether it is infrastructure, mobile, you know exactly what the workflow is. So basically you will be able to say, hey, let me just try and actually automate this, and just to save a little bit of time. Rephrasing findings for clarity or clear client audience. This is basically where it has to, you're giving a technical finding so that it actually, you can actually pass it on to a non-technical person. They will be able to understand that. And summarize long scan output quickly. A lot of in-maps, a lot of that can actually be overwhelming when you look at them. Can help you to summarizing this. How not to use it. Not make fun of decisions on exploitability. Again, we need to check your exploitations or any particular scripts that actually gets generated by AI. Validate the vulnerabilities yourself. It also will replace your understanding of any techniques that you've actually known. It can actually give you certain ideas, but then once you're in that particular environment, you are able to actually just maneuver around a few the details that AI won't be actually privy of. And you'll write your report without a human review. It makes mistakes, typos. It actually even puts other languages inside. I've had it actually where it puts a few languages inside that are not even English on the report itself. Without actually human reviewing it, that would have been sent with, I think it was Arabic the other time. Practical workflow. Basically, with every start of the in-effort engagement, enumeration is quite key, as you might know. Own it. You do the legwork. Do the groundwork, the manual stuff with a little bit of assisted, known, reputable, in inverted commas, automated scans. Probably if you are doing scans, you use AI to actually expand on the ideas. See what you found, and then see what AI can actually help you with, in order to progress any further. Maybe stuff that you've never seen before. But again, validate it manually. I think one thing that comes out is AI. It's actually validate. Don't trust blindly. Anything that you want to write, any scripts that you want to write, validate them that they're actually working before you actually even want to put them on a testing environment or part of your testing workflow. We run the variations, check that AI missed or simplified. Test it, like again, testing for any issues that might actually cater for the specific testing engagement. Red flags of actually over relying on AI. When it looks right, we say it looks right instead of actually, again, what is it? Verifying it. Copy pasting it, AI directly into a client report. I think even clients would actually now start knowing what actually is AI looking report that is being produced. Once you actually start reading anything that is not generic, that's generic or not specific to your business needs, that you actually translate it, just being a copy paste. Again, what does it do? You lose another point of reputation of actually being a credible tester, number one, if you've actually done it. That's where you come again, where you're unable to explain the findings itself. There's nothing that is worse than being asked in a client call, and when they ask you about findings, then generally you don't even know how to explain them. It's one thing to say, I don't know whether you are being asked about something, but if you can't explain the finding itself, that's pretty bad. When you skip the manual verification process, verification again, everything that you actually want, that it actually outputs to you, you are able to actually just go and say, hey, this looks right, but let me just test it one more time. And your understanding of techniques isn't growing at all. You're not learning anything new. You're just copying and pasting. And yeah, at the end, you're not growing yourself in any way as a tester. What makes you valuable as a tester? Your critical thinking. At a specific time, at a specific point or on your particular test, whether you're seeing a point where you need to pivot to the next post, your understanding, basically critical thinking at that particular time, sets you apart from everything with AI. It can give you steps or suggestions, but you still have to be able to identify the path that needs to be taken. The habit of verifying everything is actually quite good. Don't trust anything blindly without actually validating it. AI, it will just give you anything that's just generic, but your curiosity as well into actually digging deeper sets you a little bit apart from anybody else. Clear communication, translating basically technical findings into business risk. This is still actually a human skill that everybody, I think, in consulting should actually learn. The future of pen testing. It's not going to go anywhere. AI is here. As much of it seems like it's a bubble at the moment, AI is going to still be here. But it's also going to improve. And part of that improvement will be people like us in the community actually making it better. Not because we want it to take over, but we understand that things a little bit better than it actually does. We are teaching it better. Automation will increase in all phases. I think automation has been one of those, as a lazy pen tester sometimes, automation is actually quite a good thing. The landscape will change rapidly. Everybody can produce a tool at the moment. Everybody can write, what do they call it now? Vibe coding? Yeah, so everybody can just vibe code and actually produce a script, a tool. So there's going to be a lot of those coming up still. Basically, how to stay ahead. Keep building manual skills. I think beats that. There's a lot of big manual tasks that needs to be done still. And understand the tools and basically staying curious. The final message, basically, yeah, AI is here to help us, but not to be too reliant on it. When the phoning is actually a bit easy, you just need to know if it's really not auto-failing at the same time as well. practical takeaways for the talk. I think I've said the word validate more today than any time. Always validate AI output. Never outsource your thinking. Use AI to assist you, not to decide. Focus on accuracy over speed. The 5 findings are better, 10 findings are better than 50 findings on a report. That's going to get action pretty quickly. And just protect your credibility as well. It takes years to build and very little to actually destroy it. And I think that should be it. Any questions? Yes, sir.
When you say AI, what kind of AI you are mentioning? Is that genetic AI or just kind of a general LLMs?
For this specific talk, I would say general AI.
So it's a genetic AI you are referring to? Because from my experience, a genetic AI with additional modules like planning, tool coding, or the kind of memorization modules, some of problems that you mentioned could be mitigated to some extent.
Yeah, this is for. I think that this one was actually meant for a lot of junior testers as well, who are coming in or is new to AI and stuff. Just to guide them through, not to blindly go and actually use AI. There are, like you're saying, there are actually variations where you can actually pop in a couple of things that will make AI a dream to use. So you're indeed correct, yes.
Also, do you have any reflection on the Anthropic's latest glass wing? They found a 27-year-old kind of vulnerability. Yeah, it's super powerful. So, any reflection on that part?
Once you start paying for something more, to use and find like vulnerabilities, vulnerabilities and stuff like that. I did it as an individual. So at that particular scale, I think that would be used as a business, right? So I didn't look at it in particular ways, but my reflection as far as that is concerned, it's great. I've seen quite a few AI agents that actually are working in tremendous jobs. I want to actually build one for next talk as well, just to experience and feel it on real world, and to just building it myself as well. So they work, they swear about them, but I have not practically actually tested it, so I can't say yes or no.
Right, thank you.
I'm afraid that's all we've got time for. If you want any more questions, you'll have to approach afterwards. But thank you very much for speaking.